So why are we here? Like I said, a little bit about what Esri's GIS products are, how they work, give you a better understanding of how that software goes. Why would we want to integrate with Esri software? What's the advantages to it? What can we do with it? What are we seeing our customers using it for? The benefits, what your peers are doing, and then I'm going to go over a brief overview of what Esri's products are so you get a good idea of that as well, so you know where we touch Esri and work within the environment. And to look at the integration options, and then at the end I'm going to do a brief demo of the actual integration and give you a good idea of a real-life scenario of how you might use integration. So who's Esri? They're a GIS company. They're very similar to Highland in the way that they do business. You know, you'll see a lot of similarities. If you have the integration. If you guys decided to get into the integration or work with it, the way their company is structured is very similar to Highland, and it's just a good company. They make a product called a Geographic Information System, which is all about mapping. The best way I can describe a GIS to a Highland person is what OnBase is to documents, a GIS is to maps. So you have, within OnBase, you've got your document layer, and then you've got your keywords that sit underneath it and tie to it and give you information about that document. Same thing but with maps. With maps though, it's a little bit different with the GIS because you can have different layers and start doing analysis on geographic features. If there's an earthquake in Southern California that's 7.0, with all these variables, what's the area that's the most likely to be most impacted? Those types of things. But overall, the concept is very similar. So why would we want to do an integration with the GIS? Well, first and foremost, today, if you don't have an integration to OnBase, maybe you've got OnBase in one area and Esri in a different area. The folks in the GIS department have no idea what documents are associated to, say, a parcel of land or a manhole cover, what work orders have been assigned to that, what the history of that piece of geography might be. The only way that they would know that is to go into OnBase or go talk to the OnBase folks or somebody who has access to it, have them pull it up and give them access or give them the documents. So what this allows them to do is tie the two together and start getting the valuable information that they would get from the documents and content, and also be able to do that within the geographic or GIS environment.
Partial information, stuff like that.
Yes.
That's actually one of the projects I'm working on right now is getting that stuff in so that it's not out of.
Exactly. So they're not just looking at the maps and the metadata that I was just talking about, or the keywords for relations. They now have access to everything that's associated with that.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So again, connect the GIS workflow, and it's part of the overall enterprise strategy. Integrations with other line of businesses such as feed permitting software, work order management software, facilities management. So with this integration, we can tie into other products. And there will be a product that I talk about that we work with closely that has a GIS aspect to it, another aspect to it, and an OnBase aspect to it. So I'm leaving the alert on that one so you can see it. So who's using it? Waterford, Michigan is one of our very good users of the integration. This is a quote from Barry Bierman. You can read that. And what they're doing with it, documents related to work orders and service requests in the CityWorks asset management system. There, just blew my cover. So that's one of the pieces that we're working with closely to integrate a work order management solution with the GIS and with OnBase as well. And then also there's.
I know about that.
I'm sorry?
City of Ann Arbor might want to know about that. I know they're using CityWorks.
Sure. Okay.
We share our solution with them. So.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk to them. And they're also storing their sewer videos in OnBase. So their application is almost purely a public works application using the CityWorks asset management system. And CityWorks, I'll show you some screenshots. I don't have the software, so I can't demo it for you. But I'll give you an idea how CityWorks works as a software package, how it works with Esri, and how it works with us. Okay, Horry County. This one is one of my favorite integrations to Esri. Tim Oliver is the assistant director. They've integrated, and this doesn't even come close to the integration points that they've done with OnBase and Esri. Tim, the way he puts it is, everything that goes through his county starts with GIS and OnBase. So everything that they do within that organization starts with these two components. He manages, oh boy, emergency management. So if there's an ambulance call, he sees it on the map. He manages public works applications, so he can see all the public works work orders that are happening, all the information about them, the documents and content that are associated. I mean, pretty much every aspect of that county is integrated to OnBase and Esri. They're using the Silverlight version. I'm pretty sure the Silverlight version that I'll show you. It's much more complicated than what I'm going to show you. So, what is this ArcGIS that I keep talking about? There's three pieces to ArcGIS, and this ties in real well to what we do at Highland too. They have ArcGIS for desktop. That's the standard legacy product that they've had for years. It has three pieces, and you can probably relate that to Highland as well. They have the basic, which is formerly, well, I'm sorry, this is the desktop. Yeah, somewhat similar. Basic is ArcView. It's meant for just some analysis, no real heavy lifting. Then you get into Arc Editor. That's where you go and you can start editing parcel data, or adding manhole covers, or adding fire hydrants. Editing. And ArcInfo is more advanced for the heavy lifting. That's the really hardcore GIS where you're creating databases and, from scratch, or digitizing maps. And then their most recent product is called ArcGIS Online. Very similar to how we're going with our product lines. They have a Silverlight application, a Flex application, and a JavaScript application. They're growing that, and that's the future of the company. So if you have GIS already, you might want to look into these server-based products because they're starting to gain more and more momentum, and there's more and more functionality coming into those products. So what's it look like? This is the standard desktop integration. Sorry for the fuzzy blown up screen capture. That's too big, yeah. But didn't want you to not be able to see it. So those are the 5 key functions for what we do in the desktop application. But you can retrieve documents from OnBase, you can filter documents from OnBase, store imported documents, attach documents to a map, and then delete static notes. One of the things that's a large benefit for a GIS user to use a content management system is you can link documents in ArcGIS. If you can do it, it's called hyperlink. But when you do that, it's just a static document that sits there and is associated to the map. No life to it, it just is there. You can't do anything with workflow, you can't do anything as far as redaction, anything. It's just static JPEG. So what that allows you to do is just delete those static links and implement them. So, and then you can see this one's probably more of a, I'd say probably a street management application. They've got stop signs, maybe they're doing maintenance on stop signs or something like that. So, OnBase Integration ArcGIS Online. What is that? Like I mentioned, those two products, the OnBase product and the ArcGIS Online, are kind of the future of what we're doing. They're OnBase, they're server-based. They have more functionality than what we've got in the standard version. You can automatically link keywords, which I'll show you, and you can deploy it across an organization much more easily than if you had desktop applications all over the place. It's very scalable. So what can you do with ArcGIS Online? And I'll go through this in the demo as well. This is just a sort of list way of showing it. Document retrieval, which is pretty straightforward. Workflow, multi-layer importing, which means I can link a document to multiple layers within a GIS, or a piece of content to multiple layers within a GIS. Work order requests, which is what we were talking about earlier. Static linking options, you can read it. We do support the Silverlight viewer, which is what I'll be showing today. customization. Again, we support, well, custom applications, Silverlight, Flex, JavaScript, as reviewers that are free from Esri, Silverlight, and Flex. So this is a screen capture of the JavaScript platform, and you'll notice subtle differences in the way that these products are presented. So you can see, I'll just run through these real quick and then I'll come back. So this is the Flex. A little bit more functionality in there. You can customize a little bit more. Gives you, things like the scroll bar, the zoom in, zoom out. You can customize with logos. And it just gives you a little bit more flexibility. And then here's the Silverlight. This is very, very similar to what you'll see today. So, not to dive too deep into the weeds right now, but this piece right here is a version of what you'll see today with the OnBase integration. So here's a visual of the differences between desktop and the server. And this gives you a good idea of how we've added more functionality in the server product than we had in the desktop. The desktop is more for, like I said, the legacy user that might want to just have access to documents, where if you're really getting into using the integration and or OnBase and Esri online, and you'll have access to all of those features. And you can see you can open a folder with both import multiple documents, create new static links, and retrieve it for specific document types. We don't have that one in the server version because we don't need to. You can, within the online viewer, for the online integration, you can bring in a document. So it's not necessary. Public Works applications. Okay, so this is CityWorks. CityWorks is a work order management solution. They manage, it's not just work order management, they also do permitting. But it's a way to schedule and manage the different work orders that are coming in. So on this side you see, this is the guts of their system. They have the Esri piece here. That's integrated into CityWorks. So they have a mapping piece on the side of the product. And then for us, this is where you get to the documents. Simple pull down, drop down list, select the documents, and then it brings up your document. So pretty straightforward, but it gives you access again to all of that information that you wouldn't have otherwise if you were sitting in the CityWorks environment. So that goes maybe as-built drawings, it may be forms, it may be, when somebody submits a form, maybe a pipeline broke or something like that, you can pull those up. This is a map integration. You have the same or similar functionality to what we have with the standard Esri integration within CityWorks. So you can work from either the CityWorks environment or from the Esri environment to pull up documents. So if you want to look at documents spatially, you can have the same functionality or similar functionality to what you have in the standard viewer. You can also pull documents from this side. Plan review. I know that the write-up said that I would talk about plan review. This is, okay, so what this shows is from CityWorks, you can simply go into OnBase and get into the plan review integration. All you have to do is click on a button in CityWorks that brings you to OnBase into the plan review piece of OnBase. So, and you can see it gives you information about the workflow, information about where it is in the process, and then also, again, another piece of information about where it is in the process. Okay, and finally, as far as the CityWorks integration goes, it gives you access to the folder structure within OnBase. So you're not stuck just pulling up documents. You can actually look at the full folder structure for anything associated to that particular geographic feature. And finally, markup. This is huge for CityWorks because in their software today, you can't do markups. So say I needed to put another handicap spot in spot number 3 or another one in 2 and 3. There's no way to really visually mark up a document within CityWorks today. we can do that. So if you have the OnBase integration, you can use the markup capabilities. That gets stored in the system just like it would any other markup within the document. So you can have record of that as well. And the setup. So the way this works, the way the whole system works, and again, not to get too far into the weeds, you set up the keywords to be associated to the metadata within CityWorks. What you do is you link them up like a puzzle. So you pick which keyword you want mapped to the available field, you set them up, and then those are automatically linked and will pre-populate as well as far as keywords within OnBase. So once that's linked up and your system is set up, which is pretty straightforward, then you're ready to go, basically. Okay, so let's do the fun stuff.
You have a lot of examples of CityWorks. You guys do anything with Cartograph? They're
Not currently.
Server-based stuff?
Yeah, not currently. Funny enough, just this week I got an email about Cartograph, so we may be soon.
Okay.
But at this point in time,
They're making a lot of enhancements to their server-based software as well to kind of catch up with CityWorks.
sure.
So.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, just this week I got data on it. So
Okay.
it's new, but we're not opposed to it. We're just sort of looking into it at this point in time. Today, we've got a pretty well established relationship with CityWorks. And we're integrated fairly tightly. And not to say that we wouldn't work with.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Silverlight viewer. This is just a simple parcel map with building footprints and parcels. So we run through this. This is a tool set on the right-hand side here. This is select tool, select line, select polygon, select square. This clears, and then this is the hiding piece, or the OnBase piece that we would push when you wanted to see the document. So let's try it. So this particular parcel, if I select it, you can see over here it gives me my metadata. Let me pull this down so you can see all of it. So this is all the metadata that's associated with that particular parcel. Parcel ID, parcel ID. What we'd be looking for here is what are some common denominators that would be in both OnBase and the Esri system. So if I want to see all the documents that are associated, all I have to do is click that button, and it brings up, again, let me resize it. Sorry for the tediousness of this. Okay, so it brings up all of my content that's associated to this particular parcel of land. So you see I have building permits, site plans, floor plans, drawings, any type of content that would be in OnBase comes through with this. Go ahead.
Do you have integration with any permitting software or anything?
We work with Esri.
No, we're not switching to that. We're switching to something that's open source. It'll come to me later after I walk out the room.
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we have, even with the seller, we do have a code-based level of integration with the seller, but we've also had people just integrate to it with application enabler.
Yeah,
So
I was going to say, we do have some AE stuff, and we're switching to Open Facilities now, or what it's called.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Open Facilities. We've got all our inspection stuff not linked anywhere with GIS right now.
Is it FACILIS?
I'm not sure how to spell it. If your app specialist is going to be in charge of that.
Okay. So now if I want to look at the document that's associated, the content that's associated to that parcel of land. So we'll just go with forms. So this is a service request form that was added through an eForm. This is in OnBase and live. So this might be a form that was submitted by a customer or a user. Maybe there's a day of a street sign and there's a service request that has to come in and needs to be fixed. So this is available to be viewed within OnBase and within ArcGIS. So if I wanted to look at the keywords that were associated to, say, that service request, all I have to do is click the keyword button, and it brings up all the keyword values. Now, if you notice, parcel ID here matches, and it's kind of hard to see, the parcel ID and the metadata. So that's the common denominator that they chose to use to link the documents to the maps. And then the last piece to this is workflow. So if a document is in workflow, that icon will be not grayed out. So you can click on it. Log in OnBase. It's going into workflow now. And you can see this particular one is just assigned to the scout to go out and fix it. So and this is standard workflow within OnBase. So if I want to assign it, just click it, executed, you select the inspector, which is the one, submit it. Now it's been set. So now what I'm able to do is not only work from a GIS environment, but I can work on workflow and actually assigning tasks to individual inspectors or service crews or whatever it may be, just through the GIS environment, utilizing the power that we've got within OnBase. So, let's say I wanted to add a document. Clear out the cache here. Okay, no documents are associated to this particular parcel of land. While I'm in the GIS system, I want to add a document. Maybe something comes in that's not already in OnBase and I want to add it to OnBase. All I have to do is select the document type. Let's say it's plan. You can see that OnBase is already adding the parcel ID number. It's doing that for me. Because we've set up the link between the metadata and the keywords, it already knows that it's parcel ID number 267. So I can say application number 123 for description, asset, and then project name. Now I navigate, and unfortunately this is not my computer, so I'm just going to have to pick some arbitrary picture. Let's say it's of a building. So you can see it loads it up. And then once you've selected it, you can also upload multiple documents at the same time. So say I've got three documents that come in that I want to load all at once, you can do all of them at once. Upload. Ask me if I want to import more. So say I want to do, didn't want to do it that way, I want to do it a different way, I can import documents in a different way. Oops, sorry. Refresh. So now you can see I've got a plan, my asset parcel, hopefully this will come up. And just so you know, the reason why this is not working right now, it's just a simple add-on that is fairly standard. And after, if you guys want to see it working on my machine, I'll show you.
We broke it.
I broke it. I broke the software. See that? The GIS guy broke the software. So anyway, you can see, and this one also is in workflow. So it automatically puts the document into workflow for me because it knows that anything that's a plan goes into the workflow process. So you can see it shows the photo. In this case, for this particular workflow, I either need to approve or deny the plan. So let's say I approve the plan. pass-through workflow.
Using markups in that.
Don't believe you can. No, I don't think you can. This is simply just the workflow viewing and coding.
So you can attach notes and stuff like that, right? But if you're gonna deny it,
That's all a process of setting up the workflow. Am I correct in saying that, Kevin? It's a process of setting up the workflow. If the workflow is set up to allow you to submit comments, that'll go through OnBase and not through that particular piece of the work. If I could hit deny, then it'll bring up comments.
Okay.
It was set up. So let me go back to the other parcel that had all of the documents associated to it already. And I'll show you the folder piece. So you also have the ability through the map to go into the OnBase folder structure. So I can go in and look at all of the documents that are associated to this particular parcel in the folder structure within OnBase. So I can see all the permits, but all the as-built drawings are now available to me, all the site photos. So you can see all the site photos that are now available to me, all through the OnBase environment. So what I'm really doing is interacting purely through between the GIS and OnBase to get into the folder structure. And then the last piece of this is funding. So imagine you wanted to set up a site that had GIS for your constituents, and you wanted to have them have the ability to create a service request. You can do that all through this integration. So you can set up your forms, have them available to the public. Obviously, there's permissions where they wouldn't be able to get into the other parts of the integration. But you can have them be able to click on their parcel of land, or click on where that manhole cover is, or click on where the pothole was, or where the stop sign needs fixed, or whatever it may be. And they can fill out any form. So say I have a pothole repair, just put in a huge pothole. So it's telling me that the E-form was created, so it's been submitted to me. Refresh. So let's take a look at the service request. So now if I'm on the inside and I need to look at my service requests that are coming in, I have that service request in with my parcel of land. It's stored now permanently within OnBase, and I can best manage both my documents and also send out the crews to the appropriate places. This, of course, goes into workflow like the other one did, so you can begin that workflow process of assigning that task for that particular person.
Those can generate service requests or work orders in the CityWorks.
Yes.
Side from there.
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say, so it's opening it in CityWorks too, and.
If you have, yeah, you have CityWorks. So I should explain. If you buy the CityWorks integration, you don't get this. You get the CityWorks version of this. Right? So you still get mapping. It's just not the Esri piece of it. It's the CityWorks. There's two integrations. It's the integration to Esri and integration to CityWorks. So if you have CityWorks, you want that out. If you don't have it, just do this.
By the way, Ann Arbor is interested. I already texted.
Great.
Very good. Contact info.
Okay. Please. So that's the guts of the GIS integration. Do you guys have any further questions? This has been great because we've had a lot of back and forth. Yeah, sure.
The graphical interface there, is there a way to display certain criteria on certain properties? Like are guys going out in the field, like know where the meth labs are?
Yes. Yes. The way, that's not an OnBase function, that's actually an Esri function.
Okay.
That would be a layer within the GIS. So what I would imagine you would want to do is work with public safety. If they've had calls to a house that has been involved with meth, then that would be a GIS layer that you would create, and you would live in the GIS, and then be available. And of course, any documents that would be associated with that, like say a police report or something like that, could be within OnBase and you could bring those up. So that's that. Anything else? Okay, one more piece. Mobile. So we have a mobile. Give it a second here. So this is OnBase mobile integration. So the way this one works is very similarly. I select a parcel. Okay, so I selected that same parcel. Now if I want to view all documents and content that's associated with that particular parcel of land, it brings it up for me on the iPad. And if I want to say look at, let's say the as-built site plan, just press on that, and there's my site plan. So now I have, while I'm in the field, I have access to documents and content that that I can utilize. Say I'm, working on a work order or something like that, and I wanted to see an as-built. Or if I was doing permitting or code enforcement, and this would be pretty useful.
You have the ability to turn layers on and off from that?
Within ArcGIS, or
Yeah, I'm thinking like if you arrive at a subdivision, you want to see the subdivision plat opposed to just the house. So you want to click on the subdivision layer to get that subdivision plat.
I don't know if we do yet on the mobile. I don't think we have layers. I'll have to get back to you. I'll get back to you. If we don't, it's something that's coming. This is a really good product for us, really good tool for us. So I know that's something, this is always in development, as is this. So I also welcome, if you see something here that you think would be useful, that you didn't see in this presentation, feel free to contact me, and I'll be sure to bring that up with our development team, and you never know. You may be able to be interested in what I say. So, notification. Okay, any questions? Anything else? You guys have been great. I actually like the smaller crowds because it's a lot more interactive and you guys get to just throw things at me. That's my email address and my telephone number. Feel free to give me a call. If you have questions, I know that you two have GIS. If you have, Rob, if you have questions about GIS at all, I used to work for Esri, so I'll be happy to point you in the right direction. If I can answer the question, I certainly can do that. And then with you guys, if you have questions on the integration or, like I said, suggestions of improvements or things you might want to put in. So with that, I think we landed a little bit early. Not too bad. So thank you. Thanks for the time. I know it's the last session.